Hello and welcome back, everybody. Game 5 is on the horizon. And Joshi, we have a special treat for everybody. Get out your lighters. Get out your cell phones, everybody, because it's concert time. We got to get Rafa in here, who's got a treat for everybody. Cell phones up, people. Cell phones up. Joshi, where's your cell phone?
I'm going. Hold up.
Chills. Thank you, Rafa, for that incredible performance. Game 5 in this best of 5 to determine who is going home, whose season is over, and who continues on improving grounds to take on Cloud9 or 100 Thieves Academy. This is insane, Joshi. I can't believe it's actually shaping out this way. I'm so happy I get a cast with you.
It feels really personal for me watching this because I have, all big players that I root for on both sides. I'm a big Philip fan, as you already know. I'm a huge Chad fan coming through and just seeing them both play. But I know Chad, again, when I talked to him at the beginning of the day, was saying, I'm expecting this is probably a 3-0 or 3-1. This is just one step on our way towards actually getting me my back-to-back Proving Grounds championships. And we are going all the way to a game 5, and I don't think anybody was really expecting these two teams just fighting over and over again to end up like this.
The story of them to get to this point. Immortals upsetting CLG Academy, the #1 seed, the first team to do it before 100 Thieves Academy did it as well, but still, they were the first to take down the #1. FlyQuest, the only team that they lost to in a series was Team Liquid Academy to get down here into the lower bracket, and they are still making their run. We're ready for Rafa to come back on. Rafa, I hope you realize, I think that you just gave everybody chills, and you're probably gonna have a lot of fan mail after that one. Hope you're prepared.
Relax.
I feel like it's Rockfa at this point.
So
Rockfa, there we go.
The original file I had crashed on my computer, and I did it last night just in case, and so I had to remake it during the break. or during. So I had to go back. I had to track the drums. I had to track the bass. I tried the rhythm guitar, and I was like, okay.
You're too talented,
Okay, we
man.
got it, we
Stop
got
it.
it.
Stop being so talented. You're stealing it from the rest
This
of us.
hosting crap is easy, Kangas. I don't know what you're having so much trouble with.
Clearly.
Dude,
Just
it's
play
so
guitar.
difficult. But I can't believe we have come this far. We are going the full distance, game 5. And I think off the back of what you guys already talked about, a surprise Diana Yasuo composition coming together, I have to echo you at the end, guys. Like, why wasn't Pretty playing this before? He looked so damn good on it. Where was this all season?
I got words for Nightshare and Joey, the two that were saying that, no, it's not good. We don't want to play it. It's not going to be in our repertoire. Come on.
I mean, he's still 100% win rate on it. I mean, it's 3 games, yeah, but it's still 100% win rate so far every single time he's actually brought it out. So they get themselves to a game 5, and now they need to prove that they are ready to go. Because last time we saw FlyQuest push up into a bad spot, push into the corner, Spyrex became a crazy animal. He just tore everything apart. He made Dignitas and Darkwing kind of look like chumps with how well he was able to dismantle them.
The thing about Spyrex throughout the series so far has been finding the carries, especially in this Ahri pick, and isolating them. Harder to do that against Yasuo Diana. They're coming into you rather than you going into them. And also, there's that wind wall, laney phase at Nako as well for Spyrex this time around. I think that's going to be a big focus going into this pivotal game 5. But I also want to just take a moment to remind everyone, Immortals were 18-18. FlyQuest were 14-12 from regular season performance. The glow up of both of these teams to make this deep of run at Proving Grounds, get to top 6, and then have a 5-game series against each other. Oh, it's heartwarming.
Yeah, the overall growth that both of these teams have shared. We said at the top of the day, Immortals was someone that were inconsistent throughout the spring split. They started off hot, they had some cold weeks, and they had another hot week, and then it was back and forth. And Immortals Academy, especially with the addition of Wild Turtle towards the end, allowing Arrow to play on the LCS squad and changing up both of the two teams, this was an experiment for Immortals to see if it was going to benefit both teams mutually. And so far, we've seen how well Wild Turtle and Chad have been able to communicate, to link up. When they are on the same page and when they are able to push forward, then this combination becomes a deadly aggressive duo. And I think one of the things that we were asking at the beginning of this series was, we know that Pretty is a very experienced mid laner, but can he follow up? Can he make sure that Chad doesn't go down alone when he goes for the aggressive tendencies, the aggressive plays? And this time, instead of being the person that is facilitating, saying, okay, I've got your back, Pretty is saying, no, I'm with you fully. We're going to commit together. And I think that is the look that makes Immortals now more terrifying than ever, Josh.
And when I start watching these players come through, we have to remind ourselves that, for people who are chilling at home, you're relaxing. You're hyped up, but you're relaxing. We just get to sit here, and while our jobs is also tiring, it's not fatiguing the same way that our players have. And this is when the practice matters more than ever. These players are tired. They have been playing their hearts out for the past 4 hours, and now they're looking to find one more opportunity to bring it. This is when everything that you've worked on, that you were trying to grain it into muscle memory, really comes to the forefront, and the synergy matters more than anything else.
And if you remember back yesterday, we were chatting with Ayla, the support for Team Liquid Academy. Something he mentioned as a player who's been recognized by Core JJ, has been recognized by the LCS broadcasts and analysts for his ability. He said, best of 5s is where it's at. This is when you really get to test yourself. And when you have that caliber of player saying that, that means that this is incredibly valuable for all 5 players from both teams.
A situation where most of these players are not necessarily the most familiar, a best of 5, full 5-game series. You look at the past of the 4 games, it don't matter now. It is now down to one best of one. The next person, the next team takes it all, and they advance in the lower bracket of the Proving Grounds. For one last time, Kangas and Josh, both of you, take it away.
Give it to me, Rafa. Let's take it.
Give it.
Oh, we're sharing it? All right, here we go.
I said both
think,
of our names.
I think you're on this side. I gotta wait for it to catch up. No, I had it wrong. We're going to share it on this side. Joshi, congratulations. We got it together this time.
Hang on to it. All right, but there we go. We are into our last game of the day, Kangas. We got some crazy close games over the course of today between these two teams, and it all comes down to this. We keep saying it. One team goes home. One team plays the winner of Cloud9 and 100 Thieves. One team has an opportunity to continue playing for that spot on the LCS stage next week.
Imagine Imagine a world, obviously this is going to be tomorrow's series, so we don't know yet, but where 100 Thieves wins against Cloud9 Academy and Immortals win here. We would get Chad versus Gamsu in the finals, the only two defending champs outside of Ryoma, who's still on Golden Guardians awaiting them
True.
in the lower
Yeah.
bracket. That'd be, yeah,
But-
poetic.
But there's another story that I think is super cool. Last year, we had Golden Guardians knocked down in the first round, and they made the long
Every
trek
year,
through Proving
every
Grounds
split
to
it happens.
make it to Losers Finals. This year, that would be FlyQuest, right? FlyQuest have been looking for this long road to actually get their way to Losers Finals, and I feel like that would just be pure poetry if they could do it up against Golden Guardians, the team who managed to do it last year.
So let's see how they intend to approach it this time around. Immortals are on blue side, FlyQuest are on red. And already the bans here, very reactionary. We still have the Nocturne. Now Zeri's been added to the mix with the Lee Sin, and there's that Diana ban from FlyQuest.
Yeah, but it also means that the Ari getting picked up by Pretty. This is what Spyrex has found a lot of success on, but Pretty, he looked okay on it. It wasn't the biggest thing that he was able to find a lot of success on. And now with the Lee Sin taken off the table, we get to see what else Yuji wants to play. He's typically played like Xinjiao and Viego, and he's hovering Chad's first pick.
And I'm wondering if Spyrex would even go back into something like the Azir. Does FlyQuest Academy just want to go back to what worked for them for so long? Slower game, scale for late game, have big team fights, and that's really your way into the victory here.
Yeah.
In a game 5, oftentimes we'll see kind of a split between teams. Do we play aggressive and try and end this quickly, or do we play the longer game and try and play slow and more controlled?
I mean, I think the answer for Immortals is absolutely you play it quickly. Chad,
Probably,
Wildcard, they're
yeah.
both like, yeah, let's go, let's fight. But they're taking away their champions. This is Wild Turtle's most played. This is Chad's most played, right? These are what they found so many of their wins on throughout the regular season, and FlyQuest is like, we think we can do it better.
And again, it's such a strong combo. Both have resets. If you kill one person, snowballs down from there. Very hard to stop that from barreling into you, but here's the classic counter. Aphelios and Tom Kench made it through. So Tom Kench, Aphelios from Immortals.
I got bad news for you, Kinga. So I don't know.
think it's
Maybe
fast.
it's good news. Maybe it's good news if you're a FlyQuest fan. Turtle has played this. Was tied for second most play at the top of the day. We played it 5 times the regular season.
Okay.
But you know how many of those games he's won?
Based on how you're framing this, I would say 1 or less.
0. He has won 0 of those games, and when push comes to shove, this is what we're seeing. This was what we saw throughout the entire season, and it's the confidence to go back to that pick that says a lot about what Wild Turtle is willing to do. But it's pushed up against the wall, and it hasn't had a good track record so far.
Coach Soul Strikes really bringing Immortals for a ride here, taking away the Jinx, and now also getting Philip, presumably Philip, probably not Spyrex, but Philip on this Jace pick, something he loves. And now Bandit Away Concepts tank champions. Yeah, play Singed into Jace. It's going to be a very different experience than your last time against that Gragas.
Yeah. Yeah, it is Phillips' most played throughout the season. He's, had a very mixed results. I believe he's 5-4 so far throughout the regular season. And, we know Concept does play the Slam, but it's another 0% win rate champion for him over the course of 2022 spring. And it feels like the only question I have is what does Spyrex want to play into the Ari, right? They're looking to give him absolute R5 last pick. And this cannot be the Jace. If you play Jace into Ari, you're actively trolling in terms of the actual lane matchup.
It seems like it's going to be the Philip show with that Jace. And if they lock in this Renata Glask, it has been played with the Jinx quite often. Diamond and Joey were actually 2 of the supports in Academy that picked up the Renata Glask pretty early on.
Yeah.
So cool to see that
the
matchup
Wukong.
with Tom Kench. But okay, Concepts Wukong is the answer.
Okay, and Chad looking at the Graves. Okay, we said Concept only ever counterpicks the Wukong. He only ever waits to see what other people are going to be playing, and right now FlyQuest are going to be allowing him to play the Wukong into the Jace. It's a great matchup. Jace really struggles against champions that can get on top of him, and there's so many tools on Immortals to pump out the damage, and there's not a lot of HP on the side of FlyQuest to keep themselves alive, so I'm really liking the agency that comes from Immortals so far.
And Wukong also just has really high armor from his stats in his kit. Low magic resist, but doesn't matter because, you're against a Viego plus the Jace here. And it is the Azir for Spyrex. Remember their last series. Spyrex had this insane defense. Spyrex literally saved the game for FlyQuest. Dignitas were up 1-0 that series. They were like 8k gold ahead, and Spyrex defends the inhibitor turrets, steals the Elder Dragon on this pick, Now in a game 5, he's back on it.
Yeah, it feels like Immortals, they have definitively said we are going to play aggressive, but FlyQuest have drafted themselves not an independently difficult composition to play, but one that can be very difficult here because who's face checking?
Yeah.
Who's actually going to be walking in? How does this team composition retake? Well, the answer is they try and poke you off, but if you aren't able to walk in and get the vision control, it's really hard to walk in at all. So Immortals, they are so focused on getting there first. They're the ones who have to get things started because this Jace is scaling. The Q damage is absolutely bonkers, upwards of 800 later on in the game. Spyrek has the Q that he can always just go for, and Jinx, of course. There's so much range on the side of FlyQuest.
And a reminder, the team fight capabilities of Immortals as well. We haven't even mentioned yet, really, like the hard engage of the Wukong, the Tahm Kench keeping a FLYA safe. 0% win rate for Wild Turtle so far, but doesn't mean that the composition doesn't suit it for Immortals Academy. Different styles for different teams, but one game ahead of each of them, Joshi. It's coming down to this moment, an entire split of work, an entire split of effort from each of these teams. And now the weight of a split, the weight of a season is heavy on the shoulders of these 5 gamers. We're into it.
Wow, look at this. All 10 players running towards the top side. They are looking to fight, but Immortals are a little bit more staggered than the members of FlyQuest, but they'll still stall out in this bush.
Is it going to come? Okay, there's wards on both sides. Diamond will clear this out. I was like, is it really coming down to this? We're just going to throw our faces at each other for game 5, but...
Dude, I'm freaking here for it, man. If that's what people wanted to do, just full on send it. But the big thing I want to pay attention to, I just don't want to pay attention to you, but Kangas, if this isn't another banger game, I'm going to be so sad. We've had 4 incredibly close games, 4 back and forth games so far, and I want to see that yet again. These 2 teams give it everything they got, because after this, there's nothing left.
This is the season for one of these 2 teams. This final game,
it's
a pause. No!
Not like this.
All right. The Observer, I don't know if you caught it on stream, but the Observer is currently going in and out right now. I think that even our Observers and production's feeling frustrated with that one. In the pivotal moment here, we're delayed slightly. So, Disha, I want to take this opportunity then to maybe give our thoughts on what we're expecting from this last game. We set up how the teams want to play out, but who are we favoring going into this one from your opinion, based on the 5 champions locked in for each?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good arguments for both sides. I'm a big fan of both of these compositions, and I feel like if I had to pick, I would prefer to play the Immortals composition if I was in this situation.
Easier to execute,
I would want I would want the easier composition where I don't necessarily have to think about all the small things that are going through. I don't have to ask who's going to be face checking because my answer is, well, it's the monkey and it's the frog, right? Like, you don't have to ask these difficult questions of yourself. And FlyQuest, I mean, they have some good scaling. They have great ways to play later on in the game, but what is this? Chad is just coming down.
Level 2 gank from Chad. He's got the red buff going straight at Tomo, straight at Diamond. Diamond's way too far up. This might be a double kill. Tomo can't even get out here. They're focused on Wild Turtle. Try and trade at least 1 kill. 1 more auto from Diamond should be enough, but the heal's there. Diamond's gonna go down. Tomo already dead. And Immortals Academy in game 5 will find a double kill in lane.
And that's a kill and an assist going over to Wild Turtle. He's been pushed around over and over again, but no more. They're going to be getting everything they could ask for. The only thing they needed was Tomo's flash, but this is what has happened. Chad invading Yuji over and over, going for the level 2 gank when the game is about, when the series is about to end. Chad is always looking to fight. He's always looking for these opportunities, and at the very end, finds an opportunity to put his bottom lane in a commanding position.
And if FlyQuest Academy's bot lane does the same thing 4 games in a row, hey, not a bad idea to try and punish them for that, because odds are they will do it again. If they play up and try and trade health bars aggressively early in the game, Immortals had a really good read there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yuji
Chad's
looking for a
invaded,
counter
though. Yeah, Yuji's
level
here.
2.
Has a full level up on Chad, so Chad has to take the blast gun to safety, and now Yuji has free reign over this top side.
True, but Chad also has a lot of freedom to kind of move around. It's not just over, right? Yuji looking for this dive onto Concept.
Very aggressive. Look at this wave. Yeah, Concept has flash, though, and the clone, so it's dangerous to dive a Wukong.
But Yuji spent a lot of time here in Chad's jungle, and he gets nothing for it. He doesn't even get the Gromp.
Doesn't get
I
the
feel
scuttle.
like Chad just wins.
Yeah. Chad can walk up here. Yes, pretty. Oh, Spyrex, this is dangerous. Spyrex walks up. It's Yuji that goes in. Face tanks the charm. Now Spyrex is here, but doesn't have a lot of damage early on. They're focusing down Chad. Target selection's good, but the shotgun's doing damage. Yuji will go down. Pretty getting a kill. That's 3 on the board for Immortals.
Chad is in total control of this game right now. Even though he gets flashed on, even though he has to flash out, everything is revolving around Maximilian. The Chad jungle that won Proving Grounds last year, he takes away yet another Scuttle Crab. He is in total control of his own destiny.
He's got family watching him internationally right now, and when the stakes are down, when backs are against the wall, all down to 1 game, Chad is delivering right now, and the lanes are getting rewarded for it because the gold's still on Pretty and Wild Turtle, but so far it has been Chad getting them this lead.
It's absolutely crazy to see, and I feel like what Chad told me at the beginning of the day, that he wanted to prove that he was so much better than Yuji, is starting to come true. The fact that he has controlled so much of these early games, he has won every single early game but one so far in terms of the jungle pathing, and now he finds himself with 2 assists and up a bunch of CS.
Philip in concept 1v1ing very aggressively right there. No one goes down though, but to double down on your point, I believe somebody like Meatloaf said this, you know, 1 out of 5 ain't bad. If that's how you're giving up. Not quite the same ratios. I'm giving way too many 80s metal references. I don't think anybody's actually going to get these. I don't think anyone's noticed the other ones so far on cast, but...
It's okay. I definitely haven't. You are a little too white for me there, King, but it is going to work out in the end.
You could have gone with old, man, but that's fine.
Well, I don't even know if that's true. I'm pretty sure I'm older than you.
You definitely are, but nobody else does it.
Anyway. We will have an opportunity to see how the rest of this goes through. Joey.
Yeah, roaming up here, helping get this shove in. I don't know if it's going to get them much, but Joey he's convinced that he doesn't need to be next to Wild Turtle. Like, based on level 1, he went up to the tri-bush, they wrapped around for the gank. Now he's going mid already. Joey's been around the map.
Yeah. Going on a full world tour. I feel like one of the big things that we looked at last game was when Yuji found the early game win, when he was pushing Chad around and took away the blue buff. We were saying now he's in control of this game. He has a dominant lead for the first time. But on the flip side, this is the first time that Wild Turtle is winning the early game. He's up 2 waves, which is a huge contrast to the fact that he's been down 2 waves normally about, around this time. And we have to see what this incredibly veteran player is actually going to be able to do.
The slow, the knock up of the graviton from Wild Turtle, but Diamond and Tomo are just a little too far forward, so Immortals don't actually get a kill there. But you can see, like you were saying, not only do they have the lead, but they feel empowered to play aggressively. Some of their spells are back up now, but they still have this lead that they can play with, and even Chad and Pretty are down here could get a gank.
Could be a dive. Philip has the teleport if he wants to come and join.
They don't know that there's a control ward right there. Or maybe they do, they just didn't care. Either way, with Yuji there, they decided to back off.
Yeah, as the wave gets cleared out, there's no opportunity for a play. And this is something that we've seen by a lot of teams, is going for these dives. We saw some very clean ones. I believe it was in game 2. But after that, everything has been much better in terms of the responses than actually the initial play. But as the dragon goes over, IMT are able to pick up most of this wave. Pretty still very comfortable in his position, and it feels like they are winning everywhere on the map. Jungle is ahead. Mid lane is ahead because of the kill. Bottom lane is hugely ahead, and now they're looking for more.
Yeah, I had to flash that one. Joey's been so good. These sunglasses, but a lot of damage back onto Joey. Wild Turtle had the ultimate, and now looking for more on the Tomo. Almost gets the kill. That's heal out of the Jinx.
But it's also flash and heal out of Wild Turtle, really committing a lot because he has the ultimate advantage. And I feel like Jinx has to stick around, but Philip looking for a solo kill?
He's not going to get it. He doesn't quite have the damage, but if you can... Oh, that missing. That's big, because Yuji was around. That's the big threat, is maybe Yuji goes for the dive once you get the Wukong low enough.
Chad looking around bottom lane.
Is going there. Oh, Pretty with the outplay. Misses the charm. Yuji's here, but Pretty still getting all this damage down onto Spyrex.
Oh my gosh, Immortals just pushing around, and I feel like this is one of their cleanest games thus far in terms of how they're actually executing. They are keeping the members of Tomo and Diamond away. This is another plate going over as well. Turtle stands right next to the turret to get the maximum damage. They are preventing Tomo from farming. He is down a full level and was going to be even more than that because there are no minions to walk back into as Wild Turtle just cleans up everything. Yes, the Rip Turtle is going to be going over, so it's not a perfect game, but this is the closest we've seen so far between these two rosters.
And a reminder, again, that Pretty here on the Aria is still getting fed in the mid lane too, but there is scaling on the side of FlyQuest. That's what I want to bring our attention to, is the fact that if FlyQuest Academy can slow this game down and just, you know, give up a couple of objectives, give up the Dragon, give up the Herald, hopefully don't lose too much, but actually they get the Herald for themselves as I say that. They still have the opportunity to bring this game late, get the Jinx and the Azir to 3 items, and then look to start actually contesting.
Yeah, but that's the big thing. Again, it feels like Immortals have the agency. They have the tools to actually get things started. And Chad going with the lethality build, always looking for these big opportunities. And Concept threatening a freeze on Philip, and Philip wants to break this. He's going to have to teleport back or stick around, but Chad's in one of these bushes.
Yeah, he does not know. Philip walks up. Chad's right there. Oh, Philip. Okay. Still playing safe. He does not trust walking all the way up. And even as that ward expires in the river, it's really dangerous for Philip here. Concept has flash. Oh, yeah, okay, Philip! Okay. He spots out Chad.
I'm pretty sure the edges of the acceleration gate give vision, if I remember correctly. So I think he actually spotted Chad, and that tipped him off that he can't walk forward.
Interesting. Now Yuji's here. Spyrax does have the shuffle again. This time it lands on a Pretty. The stun doesn't follow up from Yuji, though. Pretty's out, and now goes back in. Charm is being saved. Doesn't throw it.
I like the fact that Spyrax is going for it, though, right? He knows that he needs to try and find something. Yes, you can rely on scaling, but the better thing to do is attack people who don't have defenses. He picks up the sand scoop, as Mark was calling it previously, but it is still going to be an opportunity to try and attack Pretty later on.
Concept's going in on the Philip right now. The double Cyclone. Philip's taking damage.
Oh,
Concept's got it. Concept with a solo kill on his signature Wukong counter pick.
The counter pick finally coming through. The Wukong finding a solo kill, and Chad knows that he can walk around without any issue.
This is insane. Wild Turtle has the Moonlight Vigil, throws it out. Oh, tanked by Diamond.
Okay, but still, these are the small things that Immortals need to do. Now, if we get this kind of clean game, I'm not going to complain either, right? This is the Game 5. This is IMT showing that they are here to play. They're in total control of the entire map. Top lane with a solo kill. Mid lane has a kill. Bottom lane has 2 kills. The only place that doesn't have a kill is Chad, but he's still been involved in so much of this. He's been so instrumental in allowing his lanes to find these leads. And it feels like as they control the rest of the map, FlyQuest, it's one thing to play defensively, it's another thing entirely to play passively, and I like the fact that they're not just letting Immortals do whatever they want, but they have to clean up the execution.
It's some turret plates. I don't think Spyrax is in range, though, so it's just Yuji that gets the credit for dropping the Herald. That means the jungler getting some gold on him instead of the mid laner.
Oh.
Okay, Philip's in trouble right now. Getting outplayed by Concept yet again. Twice in a row for the Wukong.
That is absolutely crazy to come through, but I'm already getting flashbacks to FlyQuest last series, right? Philip had a really rough time. I believe he was like 1-8 at one point on this Jace, but they were still able to come back. They were still able to find their win, and Concept is just so confident in his ability to actually take these 1v1s at this point. Philip on the back foot. Diamond said it. Philip said it. It's okay. Sometimes I eat my brains out and we win anyway. This game is as difficult as it is, I still don't think it's over.
And Spyrax trying to show just how. He's taking a lot of damage, but has repositioned. Now Chad just jumps straight onto Azir. Gets the kill with collateral damage. And now Pretty's looking for more. Does he have the charm? I don't know if it was used earlier. Oh, throws it up, but he should have thrown it down. But Wild Turtle said, don't worry, guys, I got it. With the Gale Force forward, Joey says, I need some kills, too. How about 2 to the top Kench as he picks that one up?
7-0 at this point, King is 2 solo kills in the top half. Every single person has gotten at least 1 at this point, and it feels as though FlyQuest are reeling. When push is, when they are up against the wall, they don't have anything left. They need to try and find something. They have the reset comp but I don't know if they're going to have the damage to even get the first kill.
Oh, Yuji might just die here. He had the flash, he used it, but he's still ticking down. Pretty! Orb deception, barely out of range.
Yeah, Joey going to be trying to take it all up, but it's still going to be a lot of pressure. The flash and the ultimate out of Yuji. He can't do much of anything, and oh my god, King, is this entire turret might be going down before plates are done. We have Wild Turtle pushing up. He's got the green gun once again. He can push around Tomo and Diamond, and he's got a Gale Force to components.
Ooh, Philip's actually getting a good amount of poke down here in this lane. But yeah, you're right. Wild Turtle is so fed. Gale Force completed. It literally feels like we swapped nameplates from how the series has been going so far. A lot of that is, again, because of the level 1. Chad goes from directly red buff into the gank. Joey sets him up, and they get 2 kills. That put Tomo and Diamond so far behind, but they have not been able to recover. Maybe they do something here, though. Big onto Wild Turtle. He gets pulled back. Joey's just fine, though.
There's nothing for Yuji to do. He comes by, says hello, and Spyrex chilling around as well, but they're not going to be able to find anything. And it just feels like Immortals are poised to really just take control of everything else. They are up 4,000 gold, but the turrets haven't yet started falling. And I feel like once these turrets go down, FlyQuest's job gets harder. And that's the problem. It gets harder before it gets easier. And you're going to have to deal with Ari in the mid game, with Graves in the mid game, Wukong, and you can't face check any of these people. You are just going to get blown off. You're going to get hit by a Charm. You're going to get hit by a Tom Kench knockup, and suddenly you're dead because you don't have any HP.
And you have to give up all these objectives because you don't have vision control, you don't have wave pushes. Immortals, they get the double dragons. They have the second Herald. At least FlyQuest got the first one, but all it was some plays for Yuji in the mid lane. It didn't amount to anything else. And Immortals still are not giving up control of this game the whole season leading up to this moment. And Immortals, when the pressure is at its highest, they are calm. They are delivering.
Yeah. And remember, these two orcs have never played each other in a best of 5. And for several of these players, this is one of their first best of 5s that they have ever played, right? So as we look for more opportunities for them to go in, Spyrex
he doesn't catch Wild Turtle. He gets flashed though. Now the return damage. Spyrex, a valiant effort, a valiant attempt. Now Chad pulled under turret. Collateral damage goes out. He's down. 1-for-1 trade onto Wild Turtle. Gale Force away to safety. Can they get more FlyQuest? They find the carry, and this could mean a turret.
That's a lot of gold going right on over, right? The problem with going up against a Viego when you're fed is if you die, he becomes fed as well. He just becomes you. But FlyQuest not able to pick up the turret. It is just going to be a couple of kills. And so as the map opens up and Pretty takes the bottom lane turret, notice how he immediately walks into FlyQuest's blue side of the jungle. He's immediately on the prowl. He's looking for players caught in the wrong position.
He's in a fog of war, and I think that's what pushes FlyQuest off. FlyQuest could have pushed for that turret. I'm surprised they didn't, because that's objective bounties. I think you honestly greed for it if you're this far behind, but because Pretty left fog of war, or left the bottom side into fog of war, they didn't trust, okay, maybe there's an Ari on a flank. You know, Spirit Rush Charm would kill Tomo or Diamond, or even Yuji at that point. So, yeah, they back off.
It's really tough. You have to make sure that you can't give over too much during the upcoming plays. And FlyQuest are not strong enough to contest the upcoming dragon, right? Everybody on Immortals is approaching their second item, whereas many people on FlyQuest are just finishing their first, and Concept 2 levels up.
It's a Cyclone. Philip tries to flash away. Let's get to the safety of the turret. So that Summoner spell down for FlyQuest's top laner. Does have the teleport, crucially. So as you say, they can't contest. Maybe there's a world where FlyQuest can get a deep ward for Philip to actually teleport to, and if they can get on Wild Turtle without sums, that is still juicy.
That's a way, like, if Yuji can get that reset, that would be very exciting. But it's so difficult for them to move in. I guess they have the one ward in the Raptor pit, but Jace isn't a great flanker, right? He's looking for an opportunity to just blow people up with those shock blasts. He wants to be there in order to actually use the rest of his kit, but Immortals are not giving him an opportunity to do that. They're going to be taking this down and very quickly shifting over.
Joey. Okay, I thought Tom Kench would actually go in there. Pretty was there, ready to follow up the charm. They don't actually go for it. Oh, so dangerous when Pretty is willing to play like this.
Yeah. That's the problem, King, is, right? They cannot face check. They cannot walk in if they are their second. And one of the things that we've been talking about this entire game is neither of these teams have had particularly strong setups in terms of what they're actually trying to do around these objectives. But now Immortals recognize, hey, they have nobody who can walk in. We can just be there first, and for the first time, we're seeing FlyQuest try and answer on the far side of the map. They have a couple people here, but Joey's going for a flank, and Spyrex is already recalled.
The turret picked up right there.
Oh,
And okay,
okay.
Joey was on the other side. He says, all right, let's just leapfrog each other and handshake. Dragon for turret trade. That's an objective bounty picked up there by FlyQuest. Most of it going over to Philip on the Jace. So it's not even necessarily going into the late game hyper carries. The Azir, the Jinx, they're the ones that they need the gold on.
I mean, let's be honest, Jace scales pretty well these days. He's definitely not the early game only character that he used to be. He's somebody that is going to be very relevant, and there's a lot of squishy members on Immortals too, right? Their only real true tank they have is Joey, and everybody else is going to get blasted by these shock blasts, and it will easily be doing 600, 700, 800 damage later on, and he's not that far behind. And if you only look at the top lane, you're like, well, you know, this game seems okay.
Yeah,
the rest of
if
the
you're
game.
not one player. I'm looking at the goal difference and everyone else, and I don't think Tobo's feeling too hot about this one. I'm not gonna lie, Joshi.
No. But that's one of the things you gotta ask, right? Which of these players are the people that are going to be the ones that are going to step up?
Yeah.
Naturally, I look towards the veterans, Tomo and Diamond. The people who were on the FlyQuest roster that played in LCS, that were the first place last time around.
They had
Spyrex did
a
it yesterday.
winning weekend in LCS as well. They have the pedigree to get back games like this. They have the scaling, 6,000 gold behind, and now Immortals are looking to flex their wallets a little bit in the jungle, but Chad in a 1v5, he doesn't actually get that steal away. It goes over to Tomo. So, likewise, but this is what they have to do just to get their own jungle camps.
5 players tries to get their own blue buff and doesn't even go over to one of the players that they really wanted it on. They wanted to put it on Spyrex so that he can actually try and wave clear some of these games, but Pretty is coming around the back.
Oh, UG's in trouble. Okay. Jumps away from Wild Turtle right there. Now it's Spyrex. Oh, every time the observers toggle Fog of War, I get scared. Especially for the side laners that are all alone right now. Spyrex does catch the wave, though. He should be fine.
Trying to think of the last time we saw this FlyQuest roster, or I guess FlyQuest in general, in a best of 5 situation, right? And it really has to have been last year. They made 7th in Proving Grounds, but that was still best of 3s when they got knocked out by TSM Academy.
I don't even remember them making a particularly deep run in Spring Proving Grounds of last year. I'd have to go back and check the Leaguepedia to confirm on that one. But a lot of these players, I'm looking at Philip, I'm looking at Spyrex, and even Tomo. These best of 5s, they're grueling, they're tough. And even Immortals right now, like, it seems like they've slowed down the pace. Like, they have to be tired as well. And there is a human element in these best of 5 games. Because oftentimes we like to remember, we like to think it's just numbers, it's just names over champions. But these are 10 humans in this game, and a lot of them have not been in these kind of situations before.
Yeah. And it feels like the story that I was so excited about of FlyQuest making the lower bracket run to go up against Golden Guardians, who were the team that did it last year, might not be the story that we're going to get to tell. It looks like it's going to be a new one. We're going to have to start looking at how Immortals, having moved in with a bunch of rookie players, how they swapped 80 carries in the middle of the season, are the team that can make a deep run and go up against... I mean, realistically, when I was looking at the top Academy teams, I thought Immortals was going to be pretty middle of the pack, right? And they have been playing so much better than that in Proving Grounds that I am so excited to see whether or not they can take down the juggernauts like Cloud9, 100 Thieves, and maybe even Team Liquid, who they took to 3 games.
Exactly. That would be Chad's redemption run, going for 2 Proving Grounds in a row. The story behind this player is he subbed in for Proving Grounds last year. It was Kenvi on 100 Thieves Academy, but he was boot camping in Europe with tenacity. So Gamsu and Chad get promoted from the 100 Thieves next team that they were on. So Chad's like, he's like half a rookie. He's basically a rookie as it's his first full Academy split, but he has been in these kinds of scenarios. It was a 5-game series in the Proving Grounds finals last year too.
And also in, in losers finals, right?
Yep.
He's had a lot of games that he's actually had to play up against. But I did lie, they did not take Team Liquid to 3 games earlier this tournament. but it's still, you know, it's the kind of thing where even just having reasonably close games against some of the top teams is itself impressive. And now Immortals are 30 seconds away from finding a Mountain Dragon. And look how difficult it is. He's almost dead.
Oh, Chad burst damage right there. That collector was very close to hitting that threshold on the diamond. I'm actually shocked that that didn't just like go like diamond right there. But diamond has to back now, and Dragon's up in 15 seconds.
Yeah. He still has the summoners. They still have all of their big buttons. And Chad is, I guess, technically down an ultimate. But when Yuji is even zoned away from walking into his own turret, how do you even get close towards the Dragon? Concept finding Philip in rotation.
Yeah. Philip has to knock away Concept. The mid turret goes down. Immortals with full control, and they're going for a Mountain Soul off of this play. I'm looking at the setup for FlyQuest. Spyrax is hard shoving top lane. There's no wards for him to teleport to. Thank you, observers, for highlighting this. It is dark. They have no counter play.
I don't even think they get this top lane turret. And I feel like the only thing that they can do at this point is try and flip for Elder. Right? That is the one comeback mechanism that is always going to exist in League of Legends. If Immortals are going to look for a very aggressive game plan and trying to zone out FlyQuest from all of the parts of the jungle, you know, we are going to see a very difficult road ahead for FlyQuest. And look at the fact that Yuji, whenever teams are really far behind and they lose control of the map, it is the junglers who suffer. He is down 80 CS. He is down 90 CS at this point, going up against Chad. We are so close to seeing the jungle flame horizon. And Chad said, he said it wasn't personal, but this one it really is.
Yeah, Chad had his own thoughts on UG going into the match that you were able to chat with him about. And it's starting to feel like, hey, he's actually got the gameplay to back up those words. I wasn't too convinced earlier, Chad. But now this game, this has been a clinic. And it's slowed down again because FlyQuest are realizing they can't really do anything. They just have to give stuff up. It's Immortals just say, all right, this is our turret. All right, this is our dragon. All right, this is our top jungle for the Baron setup. Good luck walking in and face checking us.
They do it relatively healthy, right? They still have Chad. They have double marksmen who are actually going to be hitting us. And another turret goes down, picked up by Philip once again as they find another objective bounty. It's a little bit of gold, but when you are down 7,000, I said 5,000 was I think the largest I'd seen the entire series prior. This is almost impossible.
Oh, Pretty's up here, or Pretty's up here by Spyrax, and now FlyQuest, they actually have an angle. Pretty's getting chunked out. Philip lands a big chunk onto him. Concept goes back in, and that's kill picked up. Tomo chunked down.
They don't even get him.
Wild Turtle and Chad are still on the Baron. Yuji has to flash away, and that should mean Baron over to Immortals. They get the kill onto Philip. It looked close, but FlyQuest couldn't even get Pretty.
The Mountain Soul was the difference once again. Kangas and Philip. He's trying to find something with Joey. He's not even going to die here.
On to Joey right now. Yuji very low. He has to get the resets. He was looking for the assassination kill onto Joey. Spyrax over the wall. Maybe can do something here, but a teleport coming in right now from Pretty. Pretty finds Spyrax. The root goes golden through the Zonias. Has a flash. Does get away. Pretty still has the charm. Chad somehow is just in the base. Missed track of that. Immortals Academy with control of the early game. Decimation in the laning phase, and now they are picking apart FlyQuest's remains. Baron empowered minions. This is it. This is the game. Immortals are going to make the push, and Chad will have an opportunity to continue his run to defend his Proving Grounds championship. FlyQuest fought well. FlyQuest fought hard, but Immortals Academy reigns supreme in this best of 5, and they continue through Proving Grounds.
Kangas, I said I was going to be disappointed if we saw a stomp, but I have never been more proud of watching Immortals absolutely systematically dismantle FlyQuest. It was not the way they played the entire way through the series. It was not the cleanest thing for the first 4 games, but when you are in the do or die, you go back to training. We see the practice paying off. We see them understanding how to get these objective setups. We see them systematically removing individual members from the game, and nobody on FlyQuest got to play. And that's the kind of thing that you love to see from these players. You go from this absolutely crazy gameplay into some of the most controlled we've ever seen from this squad.
And Wild Turtle got his win on the Aphelios.
He did it!
Chad level 2 goes for that gank. I literally still go back to that in my head throughout this entire game, thinking of how different is this game if Jinx and Run Out of Glass have an even laning phase against Aphelios Tahm Kench. Very different game. But the fact that Chad had that read, said 4 games in a row, you just kept walking up and harassing us in lane. Well, I got red buff. I'm Graves. You're not getting away from me as I'm level 2 and you're level 1. Really good read from the jungler. We kept coming back to that. Chad in general just had so much control and so much influence of the early game.
And that's one of the things we talked about at the very beginning of the day, right? Chad and Wild Turtle feel like they get to play together a little bit better, right? The synergy between these two players is working out. And when Wild Turtle or Chad, one of them says, I would to have the jungler in my lane at level 2, they do it. And they execute it beautifully, and it works out. And that's really the kind of thing that I don't think we ever would have seen if we hadn't made the swap. The swap between Arrow and Wild Turtle seems to have been beneficial for both parts of the roster.
Exactly. And the fact that Wild Turtle and Chad, we even heard going into the series, the two of them like communicating together. They feel like they're on the same page and they oftentimes have the same calls. Sometimes it bites them, but sometimes you have these kinds of series where they could just take over a game and then make it not so fun for FlyQuest Academy's scaling composition. A tough one to pull off. Hearts out, the FlyQuest Academy members. A lot of young players on this team, on this roster that were fighting tooth and nail in this best of 5. They had an incredible run through the lower bracket, and it's rough when it ends like that one, but still, they fought their hearts out, and that is worthy of recognition.
Proud of you, Immortals. Really excited to see what Chad has to say afterwards. I don't know who we actually have an interview with, but this is the kind of guy who is going to be feeling really, really good about everything going forward. And it does look as though we will hopefully be getting our Chad interview. Maximilian coming to the forefront. He told me at the beginning, it's not personal. I just want to beat UG as hard as I possibly can. And this one, he did.
Game 5. We'll give it to you game 5, Chad. But he was, of course, winning the early game throughout most of that series. So we won't waste any more time on our end. We'll send it to a short break while we get ready for an interview with an Immortals Academy victorious player after this.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined here by Chad Jungle, the victorious Immortals Academy jungler over FlyQuest Academy in a nail-biting back-and-forth 5-game series. We went the full distance, and Chad, I want to go immediately to the end of Game 3, where Spirax and the rest of FlyQuest Academy are able to pick off Wild Turtle in a huge fight, and it brings you guys backs against the wall. They're up 2-1. What is going on behind the scenes with the rest of the team? What are comms like? What is the main priority getting ready for Game 4?
So we went outside to have our meeting, talk about what we want to do with draft, and it was we knew we wanted to do something different, right? Like playing off the win con we had wasn't working, and I personally was asking pick me something I could carry. Don't put me on Viego anymore. Put me on Lee, make it so I could play aggressive early game. Put me on Graves so I could do something. I could carry the game with stats. And then our coach Nightshare said, "Why don't we just play Daniaso?" And we've actually never played it on stage before, but we've practiced it the entire split. So it seemed like the perfect we just said we have to press it. We have to pick some sort of go button and just slam against the wall.
And what did that mean for your combination and synergy with Pretty? Because this was not only, as you said, the first time that you were bringing it out on stage, but I think this is also therefore Pretty's first Yasuo game, and it requires him to play something insanely aggressive, not be something like the in-between Ahri or even a backline core mage like an Azir or Ryze. This is forcing him to now be on the front lines with you. Was there any type of talks between you and Pretty, or was it just an understood, nah, I got this, let's do this?
I mean, Pretty Yasuo is really good. He's a natural born killer. You know what I'm saying? So when the coach said the ideas of Daniaso, and we knew that they had really high priority on Ahri, it just made sense, right? I think even in the previous losses, we were consistently winning mid jungle, and we knew that we wanted to pick something that could really force our advantage. So Yasuo Dyna was just the next thing to do, and I mean, he's a natural born killer. Putting him on Yasuo was a no-brainer.
And just leveraging that strength in Pretty. And I feel like in the Diana Yasuo game, we got to see your 2v2 synergy really unleashed. You took the chains off, and then momentum-wise, leading into Game 5, we even got to see your signature lethality Grave, something I haven't seen personally since summer of last year when you were playing for 100 Thieves Academy during the EGL Summer Showdown run. And it brought back memories of that. And I think that overall momentum, the overall just emotions for you guys really showed that you were feeling confident, you were feeling at your best the entire series. And as you closed out the series now, what were the comms like as you guys closed out the Nexus?
I mean, I don't know about the Nexus, but I know before the game, we were down two games, and we said just like how Luger said on my old team, I think I see future. I think we already won. So we were down 2 games, and we knew we had to win. And then going into the Game 5, again, I wanted to play carry. I knew I could carry with a good pick. So I said just fucking pick me Graves, and then we knew the entire game we knew we were gonna win. There was no time we didn't know we were gonna win. So hitting Nexus, we're all yelling and screaming. Joey's jumping up and down, and it was expected win from us.
Just visualizing the win before the game even started. That is a winner's mentality right there. Congratulations to you guys, because now you have advanced on to the next portion of the lower bracket where you await the results of Cloud9 Academy and 100 Thieves Academy, which will be taking place tomorrow, and then you will face up against the winner of those 2 teams next Wednesday. When you're looking at that match, what are your immediate thoughts about who is going to come out on top and who you look forward to taking down next week?
I mean, my brain says C9 is going to win, but my heart goes back to my 100 Thieves roots. My boy Kenvi is going to smurf it. It won't even be close. He's going to pick Lee Sin, he's going to pick Graves, and he's going to invade Malice, and it's going to be a free win.
Oh, baby. That's some heat right there. So 100 Thieves Academy, if you're hearing and listening to this, your former player is rooting for you, is cheering for you, because he wants to face you guys next week. We'll see if they can make that happen. Chad, before I let you go, are there any other shout-outs that you would like to give or any other thoughts you would like to share with me and the rest of the broadcast at this time?
I want to shout out the FlyQuest boys. We were meeting a lot in all chat, and there was a back and forth going on. But I got some friends on the FlyQuest side, and the series was really fun. I think both teams got a lot, took a lot from it. So shout out the FlyQuest boys. Appreciate the banter, and GG's guys.
GG's to FlyQuest. Shout outs to them as well for putting up a hard-fought series. Congratulations again to you, Chad, and the rest of the Immortals Academy squad. We'll see you next week as you guys now get to have your well-deserved break over the weekend as we come back to our 3-box with my casters, Josh and Kangas. Oh, man, guys. What a way to end the day. A 5-game grueling series back and forth. And, those words from Chad, they already knew that they had won the game before it even started here, Kangas.
That's crazy. He said, I've looked into the future. We've won after they just lost game 3. Like, they have to win 2 more. That's crazy.
Yeah. It makes me think of what Doxo said when I was talking to him earlier on when his team's down 7,000 gold, but he's playing Kai'Sa with a bunch of money. He's like, don't worry, guys. We win this every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's that kind of confidence that you like to see from your players. When you just know that even when everything looks a little bit bleak, they're still going to be able to come back and punch up. That's what we always love to see. I love the confidence I always see from Chad, and I think he's going to be one of our big stars.
And I'm happy that he even gave a shout out to the FlyQuest Academy players as well. It seemed like it was lighthearted, all chatting, memeing each other. I think that's really healthy and important as well because, again, there's a lot of rookies that are playing right now in Proving Grounds, and those kinds of best of fives, I'm sure that some of the players from FlyQuest Academy will be kicking themselves and looking at next summer as like, okay, I gotta improve, I gotta get better. But right now, it just sucks, right? When you're that close in the series.
It definitely is bittersweet for FlyQuest, right? Because they knew that they had proved themselves to be able to best Immortals Academy in a couple of those games. But in terms of endurance overall, it is Immortals Academy that prevail. But I want to ensure that everyone knows that FlyQuest Academy came into this Proving Grounds tournament through the play-in stage as one of our lowest Academy seeds for the tournament.
In Academy. 8th seed from Academy.
8th seed from Academy. And they ran the lower bracket all the way to our top 6, essentially. Talk about growth and talk about development, and it goes to show that the Academy system works, and especially in the very young top side of the map, Philip, Yuji, and Spyrax all having basically less than a year's worth of experience in Academy so far. Still, for Philip, he came in halfway through the summer split, where this was the Academy debut for Yuji and Spyrax. So shout outs to FlyQuest. They have a great foundation they have ended their road on. I know that they can build from here as we go to the summer. And speaking of transitioning to our next point in the show, it is time to look at the graphic, or the bracket, I should say, our bracket graphic, concluding
the bracket
day.
graphic.
Your job is so hard, Kangas. I just want you to know, I respect you for this shit.
You
man.
already just stopped me by playing guitar live on broadcast. I don't know if you can say that, Rob. I don't have a job next split, though.
No, don't say that. I want you and Mazel to still be my host, please. Please, I don't want anyone else. Anyway, lower bracket graphic, Immortals Academy with that 3-2 victory will advance on to our lower bracket semifinals, where now they will await the winner of Cloud9 Academy taking on 100 Thieves Academy, which will be the best of 5 series tomorrow here, same time as well. And when we look forward to that series, Chad already mentioned it before, his brain says Cloud9 should win that series, but his heart says, I go back to my team, 100 Thieves Academy from last year. I know my boy Kenvi is going to invade, and he's going to smurf it here.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to say from here on out, right? Cloud 900 Thieves, Golden Guardians, Team Liquid, they're all killers. They're all natural-born killers, to quote Chad, right, when he was talking about Pretty. They are going to be playing it. We know that we've seen all these teams. They were our top 4 during the regular, well, not 100 Thieves, but our top 3 are otherwise there. And I feel like the way the 100 Thieves have leveled up in the Proving Grounds just says that they are not somebody that can be trifled with either. I feel like we're only going to get banger series from here on out.
Reminder that 100 Thieves Academy, where if we only take the second round robin wins and losses into account, would have been last place in Academy. They had to play through play-ins too. They were 1 game ahead of FlyQuest Academy at the end of the regular season, so they got 1 seed higher, a 7th seed, but they've had to also go through play-ins and go through a long journey to get to their match against Cloud9. That's going to be an exciting one.
I have no more words in terms of expectations for tomorrow's series because this best of 5 defied all of mine going into it as well. I had some inklings of where the series would end up, but I didn't expect us to go to a full 5-game series. And if Cloud9 and 100 Thieves Academy are also playing at their peak form, I imagine that we could be in a world for another 5-game grueler. So whoever's casting that tomorrow, I hope you buckle up, and I hope you get a lot more liquids prepared for you in the long run, because you're going to need it for the endurance. But I want to take a look one more time at that upcoming match tomorrow to see what time it will take place so that everyone at home knows when they need to get their butts in and logged on to twitch.tv/LCS so that they can catch this other lower bracket quarterfinals. It's going to be a banger. I said it. I already know.
It's all
we're
bangers.
going to have a series on our hands. I already know. There's no way it's going to be
Once
a
we get to the best of
3-0.
5s, they're all bangers.
Yeah.
They're all
They're all
bangers.
bangers.
I mean, remember, this is now do or die for every single team in the lower bracket. You no longer get that one more chance. Whereas Team Liquid Academy, they're still chilling up in the upper side bracket. They're awaiting their opponent for grand finals next Friday. They've got the whole week off. They get to see the tape on every single team and download the information. So they're sitting pretty comfortable, whereas everyone else is now in the lower bracket run of their lives. But again, shout outs to everyone at home for tuning into this amazing series. Shout outs to the production, my awesome casters, Josh and Kangas. And once again, Kangas, your job is so difficult. Please, 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 please keep killing it when you come back to the hosting desk. But I hope you had fun.
Thanks for
casting.
keeping it warm
I hope
for
I was
me.
able to give you one cast and a hell of a cast. I'm glad you got to get all 5 games in there. Shout outs to both of these guys for giving us such a wonderful show. And shout outs again to Immortals Academy and FlyQuest for that series. Thank you all and have a good night.
Rise up, rise up. In the dead of night, there's a distant light where we walk slow in the afterglow. We'll be burning bright, fire in our eyes. Why don't we go to the afterglow? We fly high. Neon skies, midnight moon, golden blue. Welcome to the afterglow. Welcome to the afterglow.